one. Hey everybody, this is Andrew with MMA Sucker. With us, we have Cassius Collard. He'll be taking on Mads Burnell at PFL 6, June 21st. Excuse me, PFL 5, June 21st at Salt Lake City. That'll be available on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Clay, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're happy to be here, man.
Thanks. So first off, I got to ask, how do you feel after getting the first fight this season, second round finish over Pitbull?
Yeah, we're happy about the finish. We would have liked to do it in the first round and get 6 points and be ahead in the points ahead of everybody else. But we're tied. We're all tied for that number one spot with 5. So happy to get back in the winning column. And with the finish is always great.
So one thing that I was just I was perusing the internet live while the show was when the finish happened. Some people thought it was I should say an early stoppage, but they didn't think that Pitbull was out of it. I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on that as a fighter. What do you think? Did you think that it was a good stoppage, or any thoughts on
that? Man, my job's to hit the guy until the ref tells me to stop. The ref was verbally saying like do something, and he hadn't really done anything, and then the ref jumped in. So if a couple of those uppercuts would have caught him a little cleaner, man, he wouldn't have been standing there. So yeah, but it is what it is. If they say it's early, if they say it's not, it's not really my problem. My job's to punch him till the ref jumps in, and that's what I did. So,
well, where do you put the Pitbull win? I don't know if you rank or consider your wins, but I mean, considering his. I mean, just some say the best lightweight out of that's not in the UFC. Do you consider that a very commendable win on your ranking?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got a lot of good wins, and he's been in the sport. He's definitely a legend in the sport, especially over in Bellator and having the belt and things like that. Him and his brother, done all sorts of things in the fight world. So. It's just another feather in the cap. We got a belt to worry about and a season to worry about. So, we're happy about the win and we're moving on.
Gotcha. So let's talk about your next fight coming up. Mads Burnell. I guess you could say he's described as an all-rounder. Some people say that's a negative, some think it's a positive, depending on who you are. But what do you think about him as a fighter?
Yeah, I definitely think he's pretty well rounded. He's got good wrestling. He definitely, has some pretty slick boxing as well. So I like boxing. I am a wrestler as well. So we kind of match up. I think the matchup is very exciting for the fans. I think it's exciting for me, being a fighter and having a challenge like Mads Burnell. So yeah, he's a game opponent. I hope he brings it because we're in my home state and I'm trying to throw down.
Is that tougher to compete in your home state? Because I probably a lot more family friends are coming out. Is that tougher, or is it no difference to you?
Man, it's just I love it. I love fighting in front of my people, and in front of my friends and my family and the people that support me. Like, that's why I work so hard, is for all of them and for them to be able to show up and be there and be live. And I'm just going to feed off that energy and try to put on a banger, so.
Now, well, like we said, Mads Burnell is an all-rounder type of fighter. Is that a harder fighter to prepare for, as opposed to somebody who, this guy is a striker, we just practice towards that, or a grappler, we practice for that. Is it any different when the guy is good at everything?
Yeah, I think he's gonna try to wrestle me. I think he's gonna try to grapple me. That is my take on the fight. I think we do see him trying to wrestle and trying to grapple me. I don't think we see him standing up for very long. So I'm prepared for that. Yeah, but fighting, you kind of got to prepare for the unprepared. You got to prepare for the unknown a little bit, because it's like you could go in there with a game plan and then the guy is doing something totally different, so you're like, oh, okay, well, that's not gonna work. Like, it's out the window, and then it's just kind of reaction. And so, yeah, it's just preparing. Training, we're preparing for everything. So
Has it ever happened where, you prepared for a fighter one way, and then in between rounds, your coach said, "Okay, we got to do something different." Has that ever happened to you where you had to just change on the fly?
yeah, for sure. I fought this kid way back. I mean, it was early in my career. I have a loss on my record that I really don't think I should have beat that kid up, but he would just take me down and hold me down, and I was like, I kept trying to stay on the feet and throw hands, and I remember my coach telling me, like, calm down, he's trying to wrestle, and I just kept trying to throw hands. So I actually got a loss because I didn't listen, but
Oh, gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, you definitely can't prepare for anything too much, Yeah,
mhm.
especially with the guy who's well rounded, because if he's well rounded, then I don't really know what he's gonna do. If he can wrestle and he can strike and he can, he's good at jujitsu, it's like, okay, he can take this anywhere. So I have to be able to do the exact same thing.
I don't know. Did you see his fight with Michael Dufort? If you did, what do you think about that? Were you surprised just how he got finished in that fight?
Yeah, he got hurt with the kick, that like straight body teep. He got hurt with the kick, I think, and that that eventually inevitably was the end, because he eventually got choked out coming in and trying to wrestle, but it was because he got hurt by the kick. So they were on the feet a lot. I don't think he's gonna stay on the feet that much with me. Hopefully he does. That's if he does, thank you. If not, then I'm gonna have to be prepared for him to wrestle, and so that's what we're working on.
Hmm. Actually, that's an interesting thing you brought up, the teeth to the liver. I got to ask somebody who's a hard puncher, who's been in boxing, who's gotten punched in the face, who's gotten punched in the liver. I'm guessing ungodly amount of times. What is the worst of those two? A punch to the head, clean to the temple, or a liver shot?
Yeah, I'm like, hit me in the head any day. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take shots to the noggin, man. Those body shots will put you down for sure.
Hmm.
Especially, I don't know, man. Getting hit in the body, especially early, and just wearing somebody down by the later in the rounds, man, that really starts to take its toll. So
Hmm. So this year you're off to a great start in the season. First time you were in the PFL, you made it to the semifinals. Last year you made it to the finals, and now, I mean, how are you feeling right now overall? Do you think this is finally the year that you get that championship?
yeah, I man with the new guys in the division, and man, I think it is. I think it's my year 100%. So
Do you think that this year's crop of fighters is tougher than the previous times that you've competed in?
I think overall there's more tougher. How do I say this? There's tougher opponents. There's more of them. So I feel like in the past, you had one or two guys that I was like really worried about. This time it's like four or five. It's like, dang, you know. So I think overall, just the majority of them are tougher.
No, we actually have a question from my colleague. I think it's Jeremy, the editor at MMA Sucker. He wants to know, what's it going to be like fighting at altitude? Are you prepared for that?
I train here, man. This this is where I've trained, so I'm here all the time. You're like, he's coming to my world, So
Hmm.
yeah,
So you've been training um at altitude for how long?
I've been training it in Utah all year.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
How is that just? I don't know. People, you always hear fighters saying that it altitude training or fighting altitude is brutal. Like, is it just a walk in the park for you?
Uh, well, I never really was that worried about it. I'm used to breathing Utah air, So if he's coming to a different altitude here in Utah, if it's higher from where he's at, it's better for me, because I'm used to training here. I fought in Mexico City, and I never really knew too much about like altitude affecting me until I fought out in Mexico City, and that was hell. Like that's tough to deal with
Gotcha.
when it's something you're not used to. So
Mhm. So one thing I've been wanting to know. So you've been fighting since 2011, and probably training longer before that. How do you keep up with the sport in terms of just adding more stuff to your game, getting better since your first fight? What is it that you have to do to just better yourself as a fighter?
man, you got to stay dedicated. So it's putting the time in. They say there's the 1,000-hour rule. You want to master anything, it takes 1,000 hours or whatever. That's 1,000 hours throwing a jab, 1,000 hours throwing a two, 1,000 hours shooting a double leg. And so putting in the time, listening and trusting your coach helps. My coach is always learning and evolving and always trying to learn and evolve in the sport. So you can't get stuck in one place. Just because something's working right now doesn't mean it's gonna always work forever. So um, yeah, there's a lot to the fight game. Staying mentally strong, dealing with everyday life. I think having an organized and healthy everyday life is one of the most important things when it comes to the fight game. Um, so yeah, just there's a ton of things.
What has been the biggest change, positive or negative, in fighting for you since you've started?
Oh man, when I first started fighting, I was kind of a young, crazy, wild kid. So um, I mean, just maturing in life and maturing in fighting and maturing as a fighter. Like now, I think of this as a business. I think of this as something to provide for my family. I think of this as a way of life instead of just like something I like to do. And I think that's been the biggest difference.
Um, when did you realize that this is going to be my life, that this is going to be my career?
I don't think it's more realized. It's more I decided.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, um, it was always kind of being young and fighting, and it was fun, and I was working jobs and doing this and that and everything else, and I decided like I'm gonna put all my eggs in one basket, and I'm gonna keep this the main thing, and I'm gonna focus on this, and I'm gonna see where it takes me, and so yeah, I went all in. Fight it's fighting or nothing else.
Actually, so and then let me one of my last questions will be, so if there was something you could tell your younger self after your first fight, if you could go back in time, is there anything that you, Clay Collard, now would tell young Clay Collard after his first fight?
So if I tell myself, does it mess with the
I
with
won't
the
mess with the timeline. It's just you
it's
can
not
go back. It's
gonna
like a hypothetical. It's like there's
all
no
right.
butterfly effects, no
Yeah,
dinosaurs are
okay.
gonna happen.
All right. Because that would be cool if we had
All right, well, no,
dinosaurs
it'll be
again.
cool, but unfortunately, yeah, no, not in this case,
Oh
unfortunately.
man. So I think Man, there would be so much I would want to tell myself, you know, if I could. I only get to pick one thing.
Yeah, I guess so. So like that, like yeah, something that happened now, or yeah, something now that like you tell yourself then, so that like you could, I don't know, better prepare for the future, or something that like
Man, I have no
train
idea.
a few extra days or something. I don't know, something that you could tell your younger self to prepare for, or
Man, I would
realize
just,
as a fighter.
I would just tell him to stay focused on fighting. You know, just stay focused on fighting because throughout my career the focus is where wavered. So yeah, I think just focus on it and just believe in yourself and go after it. But
Gotcha.
the main thing would be just focus on you know fighting, focus on mixed martial arts.
Gotcha. Before we go, do you have, I'd like to give you an opportunity to plug your social media, your sponsors, and as well as do you have any last comment you'd like to make to Mads Burnell in case he ever watches this video?
Oh, Mads, if you watch this video, I'm excited. I hope we throw down. I hope you're ready to bring it because I'm bringing it. My socials, Cassius Clay MMA. There's an underscore in there somewhere. Twitter handle CCC Collard. If you want to follow that. As far as sponsor goes, got to give Silver Lining a shout out, Dude Wipes a shout out. Who else? I got to give my boy Casey Gambrell at Optimum Realty a shout out. Yeah, there's some more in there, but I won't worry about them. That's it.
Gotcha. And then you can see Clay Collard take on Mads Burnell at PFL 5, June 21st, Salt Lake City, Utah. Available on ESPN and ESPN Plus. And Clay, thank you so much again. Really looking forward to the fights. Listen, I don't think every fight you've been in, I've ever watched, never a boring fight. So I'm looking forward to this one and wishing you the best of luck in this season.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.